Welcome back to the Late for Loadin podcast. I'm Chris. I'm here with my co-host Josh, and on this week's episode, we have Kasey Karlsen of the band Deadlands. And this one was super interesting because she is by far the youngest guest we've had on the show, I believe.
Definitely.
And it was very apparent right off the top. We talked about how Kasey kind of, after not really being into metal or heavy music at all, she had an older brother who was into metal, and she found her gateway into metal through Avenged Sevenfold. And it was just crazy hearing like somebody so much younger than us find their way into this world from a completely different direction than how we came into it.
I was trying to hold myself back from commenting on it when she was talking about all these shows and tours that she would go to that we were on.
Right.
It started to really feel like, oh man, we really are old.
Oh yeah, but she's had a lot of success. Her and her band Deadlands have had a lot of success growing their band on social media, and because of that, she also talks about like what it's like on a regular basis deal with the haters and negative comments that you get online because of how toxic that space can be. But she's kind of become a pro of like not only just dealing with that and letting it go in one ear out the other, but sometimes even kind of pushing back and poking fun at the people who make it a part of their personality to constantly attack people online. So that
definitely.
I still, kind of don't always handle that stuff super well myself. So it was kind of interesting and kind of cool to hear somebody so much younger, and how they deal with it.
Their take on it, right?
Yeah. And it almost kind of gave me kind of a new way to look at how I will process stuff like that moving forward.
And it was interesting to hear how from someone as young as she was to share the same common thread that we've heard a lot on this show is that there is no plan B. And if there is a plan B, then it's impossible for plan A to work,
Exactly.
Also, hearing where she was and how it happened when she got the call for Nita Strauss, she was just, being a normal everyday girl at the salon getting a blowout, and she got this call that, essentially changed her life and changed the trajectory of her career path for not only her, but for her band. And then to hear how supportive the band members were instead of being, jealous or secretly frustrated because they realized the benefit that it could actually have for their band as well, because, she can be out there while performing for Nita also promoting her own band.
Yeah, totally. She also, she talks about how difficult it can be, like trying to balance the responsibilities between Deadlands and Nita, because both are, Deadlands is starting to pick up steam and do tours and stuff, but Nita's also constant. So it's a juggling thing that she's still figuring out, and she gives us a little bit of insight on that. But she also tells us about, Nita plays guitar for Alice Cooper, who is a metal icon, right? And it tells us about all of the crazy celebrities that being out with Nita it put her in the room with people like Demi Lovato and Tom Morello. And I believe that she even said at one point she didn't meet him, but she even said that James Hetfield was at a show that she played him. Just like I, as somebody who's like just dipping their toes into this world, that's a crazy room to be put in.
How do you perform to the best of your capabilities, knowing that James Hetfield, even if you didn't see him, he's watching?
There's not a chance that I'd be able to do that. Not a chance. It's crazy. But then we also, we talked about the elephant in the room, that like the representation for women in metal has not always been great, and they haven't always gotten a fair shot at this. But we do, we talked about how we do feel like that is something that is starting to thankfully become more normalized. It's not as shocking to see a woman in a metal band anymore, which is great. It's kind of like the way that it always should have been. But I feel like, Kasey is kind of like part of the new wave of women coming into metal and being like, excuse me, I can do this too. I belong here with all of you dipshit idiots. She also tells us about the upcoming Deadlands EP that is highly anticipated. And they will be actually, I think, right around the time that this episode's coming out, if not now, but very soon after, they're going to be out on a tour with Scene Queen. So you will have an opportunity to go catch Deadlands live in person.
Found it also oddly interesting to hear how she stays grounded, making the shift back and forth, because with Nita, she's touring in a tour bus and has all these luxuries. And then when Deadlands goes out, she's back to the van, and there's no issue making that transition, where it would be real easy for someone to get spoiled and feel like, oh wow, fuck that, I'm not touring in a van again. I'm probably guilty of that myself.
Me too, but she's fully down for the grind.
Yeah, and is down to just make that switch back and get back out there in the van and do what she's got to do.
Absolutely.
And then, she really killed my soul in the lightning round when, you asked her what her the first CD she bought with her own money, and she spilled the beans that she never bought a CD before.
She's too young.
She's too young to have bought a CD. And it's not something that we think about because it's so normal for us as kids. But this generation doesn't have to buy CDs to listen to music anymore.
Yep, and totally true.
I was another one of those moments where I was like, "Fuck."
Yep. That one stung a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
It's still stung, and this has been weeks.
Yep. But yeah, Kasey is a total pro. She's super awesome, wise beyond her years for sure. And
Definitely.
I think you guys are really going to enjoy this episode with Kasey from Deadlands
and Nita Strauss.
This episode of Late for Loadin is brought to you by Rockabilia.com, your go-to destination for 100% official band merchandise. No bootlegs, no cheap knockoffs, just authentic gear straight from the bands you love. From metal and punk to classic rock and beyond, Rockabilia has over 500,000 items in stock. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, patches, and even rare, hard-to-find collectibles. If you're looking for something exclusive, Rockabilia drops brand new limited edition merch every month. So if you see something you like, grab it before it's gone. And in fact, we just placed an order for some new merch ourselves. I picked up a very, very cool Linkin Park Meteora hoodie. Josh, did you grab something?
Yeah, I grabbed a couple things. I got a super limited Eminem tour shirt, and then what you mentioned not missing out. I saw a Meatloaf tour shirt from 2005 that I really, really wanted. Unfortunately, they didn't have my size, so I missed out on that one.
Well, there you have it. Don't wait. Our friends at Rockabilia are hooking up Late for Loadin' listeners with 10% off when you use code LOAD at checkout. So if your band T collection needs a refresh and you want to support the artists who make the music we love, hit up rockabilia.com, load up your cart, and drop in code LOAD, LOAD, for that sweet discount. Now let's roll today's show. Kasey, welcome to the Late for Loadin' podcast. Thank you so much for taking some time and chatting with us. We really appreciate it.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. I'm stoked to be here.
You're a pretty busy lady these days. So we actually, Josh and I made a list before we even recorded the first episode of the show of just guests, like ideas for guests, and you made that initial list. And so we've kind of just been waiting for like the right time. Like I mentioned to you, you're going to be at launch. We're going to be at launch. We're trying to do it in person, but schedules conflicted a bit. And so we were just like, we happen to have an opening today. I hit up your manager and he was like, yep, she can do it. We're like, lock her in. Let's get her while we can. So thank you so much. Yeah, it really means a lot.
We got to get out of launch early because we got kids and Easter is all that stuff. So we have to bail out a day early. So we're able to launch.
Dadding takes priority there.
Dadding does take priority.
Fair enough.
We should have a conversation with Jeremy about, hey man, you should next time really think about Easter weekend.
You know what? He's a dad too. What does he do?
That's what I'm saying.
But you know what? I think all of his kids are like out of the house and in college and stuff. So he's probably not thinking about that. I'll give him a pass this time, but next year he's in trouble.
He's lucky.
Hey, listen, sometimes it's just, it launches for Jesus this year, I guess.
Hey, there you go.
Launches for Jesus. We're going to tell Jeremy to print that on a shirt.
That's his new tagline.
Honestly, yeah. And we should have Jesus in an Easter bunny costume. Dude, I already copywritten, period.
Just make sure you get credit for that.
Yeah.
Just make sure Lou gets on him about those royalties because you need credit for that.
Yeah, you're a marketing genius. It's already showing. I like it.
Oh, well, thank you.
So I guess let's go from the beginning because you're still pretty young. So the beginning for you is like yesterday compared to Josh and I.
Easy.
But where did you grow up?
I have been born and raised in Long Island, New York my entire life.
Very cool.
Like we lived in Port St. Lucie, Florida for like a year or two, and then we came right back up to Long Island. And it's just, this is all I've ever known, man.
Sure.
I love it.
You know what? I've only been to Long Island a handful of times to play shows, but I've always loved it.
Oh,
They got
it's
some good
great. Have
pizza.
you? Which venues have you played at? Have you played the Paramount yet? I'm sure you have.
No,
You
Paramount.
haven't?
Man, they
No.
got this cold cheese pizza down the street from the Paramount that is
Yes,
freaking,
Little
man, it is so freaking good. They have the pizza and then they put literally the cold cheese on top of it, not melted. I'm talking like fucking
Just
shredded
straight
mozzarella.
up shredded mutts.
and give it to you, and it's awesome.
It
I mean, I'm
hits
in.
So different.
Anytime bands are playing at the Paramount, I always tell them they have to go down the road. I don't know what it's called, but they have cold. Ask somebody at the venue, and they'll
Little
have
Vincent.
Little Vincent's. Yeah,
Little
that's
Vincent's.
the spot.
Of
That's the
course, it's a
spot.
little. Of course, there's a little in front of it.
course, Little
I haven't played
Vinny.
there since I joined the Ghost Inside, so it only would have been in my Texas in July days, and we would have been playing like tiny ass hole in the wall, like VFW style venues.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
What, Amityville Music Hall sound familiar?
I've been
I've
there.
definitely played Amityville Music Hall. Definitely
Yep,
played that.
I've been
yeah.
there.
Dude, they just redid it. They just redid
Really?
the crap out of it. They doubled the size.
No
the
way.
floors are nice and new now. Like the stage is
Wow.
bigger.
You
They
know what?
they really redid it. It looks so nice.
Always liked that venue. Like,
Yeah.
even though it was kind of hole in the wall, dingy, I kind of liked it. The shows were always cool. I always had really good experiences with the staff there too. Like, I liked that place.
Oh yeah,
Those were
the staff
those are
is
the best
always
shows.
so good there. Like we're all homies. Like they're all just fantastic.
Sick.
But yeah, the energy at AMH is always like so good, and I think that's one of the reasons like why it just stayed up during COVID. You know,
Yeah.
like especially with everything closing down. Like
Right.
they fucking made it. They trekked through it, and then they came out on the other side.
Isn't it crazy to think about everything, for the most part, had to close down during the pandemic, but restaurants were doing like curbside pickup, and same with like grocery stores, and like how the hell were venues staying open? You know, like I know that was a big issue and a big concern that people were like trying to raise awareness of, like, these venues are going to disappear if we don't figure out how to get them funding. But like, think about 18 months where you couldn't open the doors at all.
Yeah,
I'm surprised any of the venues last. I mean, obviously the Live Nation venues will last because they just have like
Corporation.
right. They just have like, you know, a bottomless pit of a wallet to work with. But like, you know, the Amityville Music Halls, the Auto Bars in Baltimore, like these legendary smaller independent venues. Like, I can't believe any of them made it. It's crazy.
It's a blessing for sure.
Absolutely.
Maybe because didn't they like stop charging people rent for a while?
They may have. Yeah.
I was going to say, or maybe they're paid off. They're just so old, they're paid off, and they were able to you know, the owners were able to sustain. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
You know what? Whatever it is, I'll take it. Because we need those venues.
Damn
Absolutely.
straight. Damn
I have
straight.
two great friends who live in Long Island. They play in a band called Blame Shift. They're called Jenny and Tim. And anytime I think of Long Island, that's who I think about.
Dude,
they
I
own
gotta
this
write
company
that
called
down.
Strung now. They like make
make
jewelry out of guitar strings and stuff.
right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. I
Yep.
was like, wait a second. I heard that name.
Yep.
I don't know if I've ever seen them live, but like, I guess I'm doing that now.
Yeah, they're great human beings.
Dude, that's awesome. I feel like I met them at I don't know if they were at Capulet Fest, but I think I met someone along the lines at
It might
Capulet
have been.
Fest over there.
Isn't Capulet Fest the one that just was like the new Fire Fest this past year or something? Wasn't there a lot of drama around that? Or was it another
Yes.
festival up
yes,
north?
There
No,
was.
that's the one.
That's
Okay.
the one.
I had If Not For Me on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
there was a lot of bands that dropped off that
Yeah.
shit because I guess they couldn't afford the venue that it was at, which I think it was at a raceway originally.
Sounds a lot like Blue Ridge.
Yeah. And that's two festivals that we were on. So I'm just like,
Well, speaking of, I was going to
So
talk
are
about
you
this
guys
later.
are you the problem?
No,
I
Are
ask
you
it.
the
I ask
problem?
it every time.
No.
I'm like, am I the drama?
they're not, and I'll tell you why. Because I was going to mention this later, but since it already came up, I'll say it now. But they played the same day of Blue Ridge as we did the last time. And
first one?
not the first one. The one in 2023 where we played, and then like an hour later, all hell broke loose.
I
and
was
everything
there.
got canceled.
Yes.
Yes, you were
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Tour managing.
Was that you and me that hid in the Blackcraft tent? Or
Yes,
was I
it
with
was.
someone else? Okay.
It was me. Yeah, trying to hide from the
Bobby
weather.
there?
It didn't work. We still got
No,
soaked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It
but
was
they
bad.
played that day, so I know it's not them, because if it's them, then it's our fault too, because we were there as well. But I was gonna say, I watched your set, and you guys had a great set that day.
Well, thank you so much. That was like, looking back at it, that was our first festival ever. And I was just so shocked at like everything from the load in to just the park. It was just a flabbergast of a day. We didn't get any sleep the night before. It was crazy. But like, I was shaking so bad before I went on stage. And we were the openers of the entire festival. Everybody from the entrance was coming into our stage. I was like, holy fuck. Yep. And looking back at it, I'm like, vocally, that was not one of the best shows. But it's okay, because it is a memory that will last forever, and I'm still so fucking proud. And you know what? Like, since then, like, I've improved so much, and it makes me very happy to just look back and be like, yo, these people just witnessed my fucking start, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll tell you, as somebody who is in the crowd watching, that, like, to me, it sounded fine. And you're always going to be your own worst critic. And Absolutely. I bet you would experience something that I experience all the time, is if you went back and watched videos from that day, I bet that it wouldn't be as bad as you remember it. I do that all the time, where I will, I'll have what I feel like is a really bad show, or make a really bad mistake in the set, and I'll be like, oh, that's terrible. It ruined the show for me. Everybody heard that for sure. And then I'll watch like a video taken from front of house, and I'll be like, oh,
and then no one notices.
You can barely even hear it to begin with. It's because we're all wearing in-ears. We can hear every detail of what we're doing. And, so
Chris is notorious for his temper tantrums, is what he's trying to say.
Don't even do that. Don't do that.
So let me put some perspective into this. Me and Chris and I have known each other longer than you have been alive.
Probably.
Oh yeah? How many years?
Almost 25 years.
Fuck. Okay, you're right.
Are you 21, 22?
22.
22.
We're old.
Yes, that's why I said earlier the beginning for her was like a year ago compared to us.
So then realistically, this shouldn't be too hard for you to dig into your memory and think about. But what was your childhood like? Was music always in the background, or was it something that you kind of inherited later on down the line?
It's honestly really weird. I honestly like to say that it was kind of written in the stars for me to be a musician, but I just kept turning it away. I'm just like, no thanks. Like, it was odd. First of all, my brother, who is 4 years older than me, was like the first musician in our family. And I got involved in like, the elementary school chorus and just like a little theater gigs here and there, just not doing literally anything to the caliber of what I'm doing now. I was super into Guitar Hero growing up. Like, me and my brother bonded over that like crazy. And so he started to pick up actual guitar. And in this time period of like 6 or 7, 8 years, I don't even know how long, but from when I was in like maybe second grade to like, I don't know, since I was like 13, I was like, nah, dude, metal sucks. Metal's horrible. Like, it's not even music. Like, this shit is awful. I mean, like, I really loved pop at the moment. Sure. Cooler Than Me, Mike Posner was like my fucking favorite song ever.
God, you're making me feel so old right now.
Chris's first CD was NSYNC, so he feels you.
Well, yeah.
He feels you 100%.
100%. Yeah, the first CD I bought with my own money was No Strings Attached by NSYNC.
Yeah, dog. Like, anything during that time period was my fucking jam, bro. Like, Justin Timberlake, love. Fucking Lady Gaga, love. Ariana Grande, love. Like, 5 Seconds of Summer was like my stand band for a very long time. But I still had, from Guitar Hero, from my dad, I had like 3 Days Grace, Paramore, Avril Lavigne, like all the pop punky and like hard rock stuff, but nothing to the equivalent of what I listen to today, obviously. And so then my brother starts playing guitar. I fucking hate him for it because our rooms are connected. And I'm like, dude, you're playing this at 10 o'clock at night. Well, I have school the next morning. You need to shut the fuck up. Like, right. I just hated it. And also at this time, I was getting into video games. So I was playing like Call of Duty. And for anybody who doesn't know, Call of Duty has a ton of metal bands in their games. And specifically, Avenged Sevenfold like changed my perspective of metal like entirely. They were like my gateway band. And it was because I was playing Black Ops 2 Zombies, and Shepherd of Fire, I think, was like the theme song.
Yep.
So I was listening to that, and then at the same time, my brother is attacking me with his guitar and trying to show me new heavy bands and like just forcing it in my face. Basically, like, I feel like the world was just like, bitch, metal time.
Right.
So, and then I wound up getting into it very slowly, started with Avenged, and then I trickled into a little bit of Asking Alexandria because I was like, oh, he sounds like a pop singer, and then with a little bit of screaming, and
Danny
then some
is so
Attila. Oh, he's so good, dude. Always notoriously good.
Yeah.
And then, dude, Attila, I am so thankful that I got into Attila because of the mentality, bro. Just because of the give no fucks mentality. Because like, if I didn't have that, the hate comments would probably get to me, and I would actually give a shit. But like,
that is
I can't.
Completely. If you're gonna take anything away from the Attila vibe, it's the fuck the haters, just do your thing. That's I can get behind that for sure.
Exactly.
I love that because the haters, especially for this generation, the haters have a very big impact, man. They can really, if you pay attention to it and feed into it, they can really, really break you down.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. And like sometimes I do find myself feeding into it because I'm a very spiteful person. It's one of my flaws. I'm so fucking spiteful.
Me too.
Like whenever I'm watching some sort of movie and there's like a serial killer and he starts like beating the hell out of a girl or something, like I'll just be like, no, girl, you gotta kill him. You gotta get him back. Like, get revenge. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so toxic. But I'm like, I know it's one of my flaws. I'm aware of it, and I we're working on it. But like, I'm still just like, I have to bite my tongue so often because I'm like, you people need to shut the fuck up. You have no idea what you're talking about. I actually like just posted a video today because so many people were commenting like new metal is not metal, and I'm like, oh, it's in the name. It's literally in the name.
It's also just not true. So that makes me angry as well. I came
grew
up from
on
new
metal.
Same.
Yeah, I fucking love it.
I personally take offense to such a statement.
I love it.
Exactly. And like, listen, like Deadlands is super fucking experimental right now, especially like we literally just came out with a new metal song with Pretty Wild, and like it's fucking sick as hell. And I'm like, how could you say that this is not metal? What other genre would you put it in?
People just want something to talk about and bitch about.
It's just grumpy people, elitists on the internet who are insecure and only think that their opinion on stuff matters, which obviously is not true. And so
Absolutely
like, I
not.
just don't. I've gone through this. I had a really hard time with internet comments for a long time. When Texas in July put out the first record that I was a part of, it was, I mean, and if I'm being honest myself now, looking back on it, it's not a good record. Like, it's just not a good record.
But still, you work hard on it.
Kind of, but not really. So when I came into the band, I was replacing the majority songwriter at the time. And I did a 6-week tour, and then we had 2 weeks off, and then we were in the studio. And so we basically wrote the record in those 2 weeks between the tour and the studio, and then went to the studio. And so the record it's wildly different from anything the band sounded like before that or after that because it was so rushed, and it's just not a good record. But when it came out, like, we got flamed pretty bad, and I had a very hard time with it. And it took me, honestly, until summer of 2023 to just not care what the internet had to say about anything. You know, like the Ghost Inside put out a song that was quite a bit different than anything we'd done prior. And going into recording it, I knew that people were going to be shitty online. And I just told myself, don't read anything. It doesn't matter. And still to this day, I haven't read any of the comments about that song or the rest of the record that came out. I've talked to the guys in my band who've read them, but I haven't gone myself to look at them because I just don't care anymore. Like, I can't be bothered, and I like the song, so why do I care what anyone on the internet thinks?
No. I don't understand why people care so much. Like, what? Do you just expect artists to not evolve? I feel like we talked about this with someone else, but
we did.
It was like if you asked an artist to paint a flower 50 times, every one is going to look a little bit different. So what the fuck is the problem?
No,
and then by the end of it, an artist is going to hate fucking painting flowers.
Yes.
So like, if you're expecting them to do that, then fuck you, man.
I get it to some extent, right? Because as a fan, when you find a band you really love and you really love a record, you really just want to keep experiencing
so
that
listen
feeling.
to that fucking record again.
I understand. And that's where I'm at also, but I can get the mindset of you just want to relive the feeling that record gives you over and over and over, but at some point you want a new version of that record that you're hoping will make you feel the same way. The problem is that you're like living for a sense of nostalgia that will never be the same again. And so you either have to embrace what's next, or like you said, just listen to that record again, which the records don't disappear when bands release new music. The record's still on the internet. Go listen to it.
The thing is, like, let me give you an example, right? Motionless put out a record. Their last record came out in 2022, right? I think. They've experienced a lot of shit between 2022 and now.
Right.
How can you expect them to write the same record?
Right. Yeah. And also, like
you're a different you're different people in that point, you know?
Definitely.
A lot changes in 3 years, man.
Yep.
Absolutely. And you know what, too? Like, the point that I try to make when it comes to bands, like, changing their sound and everything is, like, who is still here after 20-something years of being in the scene? Ghost Inside is a wonderful example. Like, if you guys did the same copy-paste formula as your first album, like, no one's going to listen to you anymore because you're not changing and not evolving with the times. Bring Me the Horizon is also like the epitome of this example that I use because, like, how many different albums do they have? And they're the biggest that they've ever been because they keep changing and they keep trying to challenge themselves and do more with their music that nobody else is doing. Like, same thing with Sleep Token. Sleep Token's going to be around forever because you know why? Nobody else fucking sounds like Sleep Token.
Right.
And that's just the point blank period of it.
Yep.
Another one I want to point out because I just recently spent a lot of time with this record, but A Day to Remember is another one of those bands, man.
Yes.
I
still need to listen to their new record.
Oh, it's so good.
I listened to it in passing a couple of times, and it was just whatever to me. And then I was on the plane a couple of days ago, and I listened to it like in depth because I was sitting there with literally nothing to do. And man, it's so freaking good. Every single. I don't think that band's put out a bad song. I really don't.
No, they're so good.
Yeah, You're Welcome, I think, was the last record before this one, and it's like it's a good record.
I love all of it.
I think that this new one is their best record, at least since Common Courtesy or What Separates Me From You. Like it's a very, very good record.
Yeah.
But I've also gotten to a point now where, like Josh said, we're both parents, right? And I'm married, and I've got a home, adult life shit, and being in the band, while it is my job and it's a responsibility, it's also like I have to make a lot of real life sacrifices to do it. And if I can't make the music that actually makes me and like the other 4 guys in my band feel fulfilled, then I just don't want to do the band anymore. Like straight up. Like and that's not a woe is me or like this sucks for me kind of thing, because I do understand how lucky we are to get to do this, especially for as long as we have been, like you said. But I'm also at the point now where, like, if it means leaving my wife and kids to go play music that I'm making just to make people on the internet happy, then I'd rather work a 9 to 5, to be completely honest. So I'm just going to make the music that makes me feel fulfilled,
Exactly. And that's the thing, right? It's like we're in a creative sphere to get everything out of our brains and to feel like not alone in the sense of music, right? And oh my God, I totally lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
Hey, happens to me all the time.
I have such bad ADHD. I am like,
me too.
Were your parents and your family supportive when you decided that this was a path you were going to take, or was it something you had to fight for?
I had to fight for it a little bit, but I wouldn't say they weren't supportive. Like
nervous, maybe concerned.
Yes, yeah. I would say like they were kind of just like, you think you're really gonna make it in that? I guess. Yeah. Like, who really listens to that music? Like, it's like whatever. And then I was also going to college too. So like in the midst of me, building this band, I'm also a full-time student, also still working at my salon that I was working at. until Nita Strauss asked me to be her touring vocalist, like that's when it really like clicked for them, when they were like, okay, so this is actually like gonna be something for you, like in the sense of not just a hobby. But like I also treated it as a hobby until I literally couldn't, you know, until like the moment that I had to leave for tour. Because right now, like that's unfortunately the grind, like in this economy, it's fucking horrible. So like you can't just depend on making no money from music forever. Like especially like if you're in a metal band, like you're not in it for the money. Like you can't be in it for the money. It's not what it is. Going back to what we were saying before, you need to be passionate about it. And like, if you're not passionate about it, why would you play these records for years live in front of audiences? As much as it's really cool to meet fans and everything, like if they're like, oh my God, that's my favorite song by you, and you're like, well, fuck, I could like literally give two shits about it. Like, thank you for getting me back on track. That was great.
We got there.
We got there.
So if getting the Nita Strauss gig was the moment for your parents to be like, okay, maybe this is a real thing, what was the moment for you that made you go, I want to be in a metal band, I want to front a metal band?
Oh, I don't know if I mean, maybe it was my first show, honestly.
Okay.
Because, you know, before 12 or 13, like I wasn't really into metal. And then my brother was like, yo, I want to go to a show. He was going to shows. He went to see, I think it was Avenged Sevenfold and Asking Alexandria play. And I was so jealous. I was like, oh my God, like I wish I could have went. We just didn't have enough tickets. And so then I saw Crown the Empire was coming to town. And at the time, like that was my fixation band. That was like the really first metalcore band. As much as I loved Asking Alexandria and Attila, like Crown the Empire was really the first one that I sunk my teeth into. Went all the way back through their catalog to their first album. Like I loved the shit out of Crown the Empire. I still do. And so on that bill was Light Up the Sky, Too Close to Touch, which I'm fucking so blessed to have been able to see as my first show. New Year's Day, Bless the Fall, and Crown the Empire. So I was like,
pretty stacked lineup.
That's a crazy stacked lineup. And I remember like watching. First of all, I was listening to Too Close to Touch and I was like, holy shit, like these guys are crazy. And then New Year's Day went on and I was like, oh my God, this fucking badass woman is so sick on the stage. Like, I want to be doing that.
Yep. She's a superstar for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Ash Costello, she's great.
Yeah.
And so it was just wild. And I remember doing some stupid shit. Like there was a whole ass merch line for her. And I, of course, first show, no sense of etiquette whatsoever. But like she was talking to this girl. I didn't cut the line, but like I just kind of shouted to her. I was like, you did great. Like, and she was like, thank you. I was like, oh my God, I just talked to her. So that was just a funny thing. But no, I remember fucking watching her when I really like sunk my teeth into metal. I used to like cry because I wanted to be in a band so bad. Like, cause there was no one around that I knew, like nobody in my school listened to metal. Nobody like around me played instruments besides my brother. And my brother's already in a couple other bands and also like getting ready to live his like real life and whatever. And I was just like so upset that I didn't have a fucking band. And then finally, one of my really good friends, he plays bass with us sometimes. His name is Anthony. He's the fucking sickest dude. He found me on this app called Flint. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay. So Flint, I don't know what it's called now. It's called something different apparently. But it was literally an app for musicians to find you, and like Tinder for musicians, essentially, but to find a band, not to find a significant other or whatever.
Sure.
So
interesting.
He DMs me on this app. I deleted the app because I was like, I'm not gonna fucking find anybody on here. But And so I delete it. And then he DMs me on Instagram. He was like, hey man, like, you know, I saw your Flint profile. Like my friends and I be live in like Massapequa or whatever, which is like 35 minutes away from me. Like you want to come jam with us and we'll learn a couple songs? I was like, fuck yeah. So he picked some fucking songs. I get there and I'm like, by the way, guys, I'm not leaving. Like I said that after the first song that we said, and they were like, fuck yeah. And then we transitioned over to Deadlands and with CJ and fucking, it was great.
How did you learn that you could scream like that? Because I mean, like most, you know, kids singing in the shower is normal. My kids do that, you know. But like that's some scary sounding shit. So it's no wonder your parents were like, "Whoa, what the fuck is happening in there? She getting, you know, like what's going on?"
Yeah, I mean,
how did you figure it out?
Dude, I don't even know. I think I was like self-taught. I never went to a lesson or anything. You know, I was watching YouTube tutorials a shit ton, like David Benitez, Extreme Vocal Institute.
What a
He's
legend.
fucking great.
I fucking love that guy.
He is wonderful. He is such a good dude.
We got to get him on here. He's come up more than one time.
Yeah, we
should. He's come up a bunch.
He's so knowledgeable and he's such a sweetheart. I would
really
love to
is.
have him on. We really should.
He's great. He's great. We fucking toured with his band Renaissance and they're awesome as fuck.
Sick.
And I don't know if you guys know Dave Dunsire.
I don't think so.
He is the guitarist of Renaissance. He works at Mixwave, I think it is, and he is also like such a nice fucking dude. Like, so he helped us so much.
He lives close to me then, because Mixwave is here in Maryland.
I think he's in Michigan.
Interesting, because Taylor Lart, I don't know. Either way, I'm not sure I know the guy, but if he's an audio guy, which if he works at Mixwave, he's got to be, then him and I would be good buddies.
Yeah, he's very fucking talented. I'm sure you guys would absolutely get along. And he's a fucking great guy. But what were we saying before? I was saying something.
Just how you learned about screaming. How you figured out that you could scream. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No. So, yeah, I mean, I just watched a ton of YouTube tutorials from David. Jared Dines, one of the people I watched all the time.
I love Jared also.
Yeah, dude. And what else did I fucking do? I used to take a Bluetooth speaker that was like a cylinder, right? Yeah. And I used to hold it like a fucking microphone. Exactly like that. It was my Yui Boom. Yep. And I used to hold it like a microphone in my room, playing shit out of it, and I just used to fucking try to sound as much like Danny Warsnop as possible. Like,
sick.
Yeah, and I also would listen to New Year's Day songs and do that. And I sang in the shower when I was really young, and then one day my brother decided to voice record me on one of those old voice recorders. I got so embarrassed I never did it again.
Yeah, he blackmailed you.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I guess instead I just screamed in my room and sang in my room. So that's that. I pretty much just was like mimicking people the whole time. And then I just started experimenting, you know?
You know, I feel like that's a pretty common thing when people are trying to learn to scream. I know that JT, who sings for Era, used to be in Texas in July with me. He learned by trying to sound like Vigil from The Ghost Inside. Mm-hmm. And they do have a very similar voice, but he did the same thing when he was starting out of just like trying to sound like the records that he loved. So
exactly.
I don't know why I haven't asked this to any of the other singers we've had on here yet, but I always get, like, for instance, I just went to a work event for my wife's job, and her co-worker's husband had listened to the band on his way to the event because his wife was like, oh, my co-worker's husband's coming. He plays in the band. They tour all over the world, blah, 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 blah. So he checked out the band, and he gave me the classic line that I get every time somebody new listens to the band that's like not a metalhead. They always go, the music's cool, but the vocals, I can't do the vocals. Yeah, I get that all the time. And my family's been doing that to me my entire life. But the vocals are never me. Do people still say that to you, even though it's you?
Oh, yes.
That's crazy. Yes.
But on the flip side, we also get the reverse of like, not necessarily that the music's bad or anything, but like, they'll be like, you know, I really don't listen to metal, but you guys are really fucking sick. And you guys got me into metal, which is the coolest shit.
Yeah, that's like the biggest compliment you can get. That's
absolutely awesome. And even sometimes they'll be like, oh, I like your singing, but the screaming is wow. And I'm like, yeah,
right.
I just expect it because I know it's not everybody's forte. It wasn't mine for 10 years, you know?
Sure, that's fair.
Fair enough.
So I can't judge.
Was there a particular moment with Deadlands when you were like, all right, this is actually starting to become something? Like, was there like a specific moment that happened that hit you and it was like, all right, we're doing this?
Definitely. There is we played this show and it was like a homie fest at this particular show. It was at this restaurant called 317 Main Street in Farmingdale, which is it's I call him my metal dad. His name is Chef Eric Levine. He's like a celebrity chef. He's fucking phenomenal with his food and just phenomenal as a person in general. And so he has this restaurant, 317, and in the back of it, he has like it's almost like a little dining hall, kind of. But it has like a big stage, and he's got like subs, he's got some cool like ambient stuff, but they can clear out the tables and chairs whenever they want and just kind of put it in a spare room or whatever.
That's sick.
And so he was like, hey, listen, like whenever you guys want to have a show here, just let me know. Like I would love to have you. And I was like, actually, I would fucking love to do that. So we organized it ourselves, and it was just a bunch of our friends who played. It was like this band Resistor, who our bassist Conti is that's his band. We had this band called Null, and then our other friends in Farsight, I think it was. And so we were playing this room or whatever. It was like a decently large room. I think we had like maybe, I want to say like 200 people, maybe 150. Wow. Not sure.
For a first show,
and an all local show at that too, especially nowadays. That's
exactly.
Great.
Exactly. Yeah. It was really good. And so at the beginning of the night, when all the other bands were playing, like all the people were just moshing and like super spread out, like pretty much just like vibing, not really so much paying attention per se. Nobody was really like up in the front, like hanging out or anything. And then I remember as soon as that band got off, everybody just went right up to the stage. And I was like, that's really different. And so then the room looked like there was a ton of people, but all the people just like came up to the stage. There was only like a couple rows. And I was like, oh shit. But then we were playing our song Crushed, and that's our first song that we ever released. And there was this part in the song, I literally just couldn't breathe. I was just out of breath because at that point I didn't know how to control any of my shit. And during that breath, like we heard the audience sing along, like through the mic into our ears. And I was like, that was the first time I had ever heard that. And I was like, holy shit, like people actually care. Like, and looking back on it, I'm realizing I'm like, there was no one really moshing because they wanted to be present in the moment and pay attention and just watch and chill. Like, I'm like, that's so cool. That is so fucking cool to think about.
I will take a crowd of people standing still, singing along over a crowd moshing all day long. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the moshing too. Like that's cool. I like seeing that the music is like in eliciting, a physical response like that. But I for sure prefer the sing along type stuff.
Definitely.
If I had to pick one or the other, something about a crowd singing along together to the songs we make. I don't know, something about that, just like even thinking about it gives me chills. It's like my favorite thing in the world.
It's just so rewarding to see. And like so many people, and I'm sure you get this all the time as well, so many people will come up to us and be like, you guys, your songs like changed my life. Like you guys made me feel heard and recognized and seen, and you guys helped me get through a lot of dark shit. And I'm like, fuck, bro, like I can't believe that, I can't believe all the things that have led up to this have helped so many people already. And like, we're just getting started. Like I say it all the time. I'm like, this was just the beginning. Like there's so much ahead because I am a stubborn bitch. I will say it all the time. I am a stubborn ass bitch. And like, when I put my mind to something, like that's it. That's the only thing that's going to happen. And it can be negative, definitely. But like, in terms of like music and career, I love it. I mean, stubborn bitches rule the world. No,
it's true.
It's true.
And you can always fucking do anything that you put your mind to if you're a fucking stubborn bitch.
True.
And so I always say, I'm like, listen, music is the only way. Like because I will make it the only way. It doesn't matter if you say that I can't do it, because I will spit in your face and tell you that I fucking can, because I'm a stubborn bitch. Period.
All of a sudden, Chris makes a lot more sense to me now.
Exactly.
And it's so we do VIPs on tours when we headline, and we've had a couple people ask, what would you be doing if you weren't doing music, if you weren't in the band? And I almost always give almost that exact answer of like, no was never an option for me.
Yep.
I was even if I wasn't playing in a band, I was going to find a way to have a career in music, in some part of music.
Hey, how's it doing?
Exactly. I would have gone into artist management or artist relations, or tried to work at a label, or producing.
Annoy Josh.
Exactly.
Annoy Josh.
That's common.
Yeah, that's a good job, I think.
It is. It's honestly, I'm really good at it. I excel most at that, to be honest.
Exceptional.
One of your strengths.
At it.
Just put it on the resume. Annoys Josh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Overachiever, actually. No, but same. I was never going to accept any other option.
You can't.
And maybe that is foolish, because I do know that, even though I did accomplish that, a lot of it was luck and being in the right place at the right time, and I get that.
Nah, a lot of it comes down to hard work, man. You can say what you want to say, but if you're not willing to, if you're not willing to take no for an answer and you're willing to put the work in, my wife always tells me nobody works this hard for it not to work out. It might take some time, but you don't work this hard to just fail.
Watch it die.
Especially if you have the mentality of failure's not an option. What's your plan B? There is no plan B.
Exactly.
So plan A has to fucking work.
Exactly.
Because if it doesn't, then I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
fair.
CJ says that all the time.
Give
his
yourself a
famous
little
line.
credit.
Yeah,
I don't like you very much, but give yourself a little credit.
All right, fine, fair. So, you're saying you're just getting started, but you're already having people come up to you and telling you how much of an impact the band is having on their lives and how much they can relate to the songs. And do you already? And we asked Jake from August Burns read this, but I'm curious if you're feeling it also, even this early in your career. Do you feel like a sense of responsibility to continue being that person for people, or being that source of inspiration or motivation to overcome hardships or anything? Are you feeling that sense of responsibility already? Yeah, that pressure. Yeah, exactly. Today's show is sponsored by Bestronix Pro Audio. Let's be real. Your rig is only as solid as the cables running through it. Whether you're touring the world or building out your dream setup at home, you need quality cables that won't let you down. That's where Bestronix Pro Audio comes in. BTPA specializes in full tour rig builds, custom cabling solutions, and if you're the hands-on DIY type, they've got bulk cable and connectors so you can wire up your own setup exactly how you want it. Everything they make is road-tested, built to last, and trusted by the pros. And because you're part of the Late for Load-In crew, BTPA is giving you 10% off your order. Just use the code LFLI10 at checkout and save on the best cables in the business. So don't let bad cables kill your tone or ruin your set. Hit up btpa.com, lock in that discount, and keep your rig dialed and ready for the road. What's up, road crew? We want to take a second to tell you about an awesome program for music professionals called Sight for Sound from the team over at Neven Eyewear. If you're out on the road, whether you're a touring musician, a crew member, or working at a venue, this is for you. Neven is offering free prescription eyewear to the people who keep the music world spinning. We're talking high-quality frames, legit prescription lenses, and zero strings attached. Just solid gear to help you see clearly while you're out there doing what you do best.
Neven was founded by John Strauss, a guy who came up in the metal and hardcore scene, so he knows exactly how tough and thankless this life can be. Sight for Sound is his way of giving back to the scene that shaped him, supporting the people behind the music with something as simple and vital as clear vision. As Chris and I know directly from working in the music industry for the majority of our adult lives, we know there are no benefits or retirement funds, so this support is vital. All you have to do is head over to neveneyewear.com, fill out a quick form, and if you qualify, your new glasses are on the house. That's it.
It's an awesome way to take care of the folks who take care of the music, so go check it out, and hopefully we'll see you out there on the road with perfect vision. We all know that music isn't just sound, it's connection, it's healing, it's everything when you're feeling lost. That's why Late for Load-In is partnering with Heart Support, the nonprofit founded by Jake Lurs of August Burns Red to bring real, free peer support straight to you.
Are you feeling down and need someone to talk to? Just text Late for Load-In to 1-512-647-2871 and get connected with someone who understands, someone who gets how music pulls us through the hardest times. It's totally free, totally judgment-free, and 100% 100% about supporting you through the music we love.
And if you're in a good place right now, you can be part of healing the scene. Heart Support is looking for volunteer repliers, fans like you, who want to help others through the power of music. You'll be trained to support fellow fans who are struggling and join a community built on connection, mental health, and the music that keeps us going.
And again, if you need support, text Late for Load-In to the number 1-512-647-2871. If you want to be support, sign up at heartsupport.com/volunteer. Together, we're making this scene stronger.
Today's episode is brought to you by you, our incredible listeners and patrons over at patreon.com/LFLIpod. By joining, you'll get early access to episodes, exclusive monthly giveaways featuring rare memorabilia from Josh and I's time on the road, and access to our patron-only music review and reaction live streams. But that's not all. You'll also get into the Late for Load-In Road Crew Discord, where you can connect with fellow fans, submit guest requests, and drop your questions for the show. The best part? It's just $1 a month. If you love what we're doing and want to help keep the show rolling, head over to patreon.com/LFLIpod and join the road crew today. Now, back to the show.
A little bit sometimes, yeah. Because, constantly, like, especially that I'm young, like, I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect.
No one is, yeah.
Especially with, like, the whole cancel culture thing. Not that I think I'm going to do anything wrong, but, like,
Right.
the ever-changing lingo and the ever-changing actions that are able to get away with in that way, like, it's definitely, you absolutely have to watch where you step in this day and age.
Sure.
And I definitely feel that sometimes. But as far as like being an inspiration or anything, like to me, like I don't really, that's not my goal necessarily.
Sure. You're just being you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the most inspiring bit of it all. It's like if I can be myself like 100% of the way and make it like so many other fucking people can. Like I'm not the greatest human on planet Earth by any fucking means. Like I'm just a chick that screams and stuff. So like if anybody can fucking do what I'm doing, like I absolutely encourage that. And I wouldn't say I feel pressure to be inspiring or anything. Like I just do me, and if that inspires people, that's fucking amazing. That's awesome. I feel like super grateful to experience that.
That's a great mentality, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's also like that's a very good way to be thinking this early on, because it is just being you that has gotten you guys to this point. And so why do anything else? So that's fair. So
exactly.
Walking on stage as someone fronting a band is so much more mental than I think people realize. Like I walk on stage and sometimes I can just blend into the background. I have my guitar as like my safety blanket, but I don't have to address the crowd directly. There is like a mental state that I feel like singers have to get into. What, like, do you feel yourself having to get into like stage mode before a show?
Yeah. Absolutely.
What do you do to get yourself into that mindset?
I don't really do much. Like I literally just warm up, and then not that I get nervous, but I just get focused. Like I just have to be like, I don't want to be like, look in the mirror and like, you're a bad bitch. You're a bad bitch. Like,
give yourself affirmations.
Kind of, honestly. Like, because I pretty much just have to chill myself out a little bit. As much as I want to just go fucking buck wild on stage and go crazy, like I just have to remember to pace myself and not go super crazy and don't overdo it. And you're in the marathon, you're not in a fucking foot race. Like I kind of just have to think of myself like that. But in terms of like getting into the mentality, like I just warm up, and then I'm like, all right, what am I going to say at this part? What am I going to say at this part? I try and interact with the audience a little bit more. I'm just trying to find that groove of like, all right, do I have the important things to say, or do I have something that I can like say to the crowd that's like funny and witty and, you know?
Right.
It just depends on the vibe, I guess. But mostly I kind of just try, you know, look in the mirror. You're a bad bitch. You're a bad bitch. And, you know. Hopefully it works. Maybe if you say it 3 times, it'll work.
Sure. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
You got to click your heels and all that, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Spin around a couple times.
Yeah.
Most of the time when I'm getting ready for shows, like it's a 3-hour turnaround of getting ready because like my makeup takes fucking forever. This took me like an hour because I just kind of threw it together. But like my hair and the makeup and getting changed, it's a whole fucking shit. And then the dudes are just hanging there drinking a beer or whatever, and I'm like, I want to hang out.
Must be nice.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's go into the Nita stuff now. You touched on it a little bit. How did that come about?
Oh my god, dude! I was sitting in. I decided to get a random blowout this day, and I was a hairstylist, so like I never really got blowouts, like unless it was like by the girls that worked at the salon. So I was just like, I feel like I'm gonna get a blowout. So I walked into this random salon, and I'm sitting in the waiting area, and I see a buzz on my phone, and it's from Hurricane Nita on my Instagram, and she was like, hey, like I really love your stuff. I was wondering if maybe you'd be interested in being like a touring vocalist. And I was like, so I did what any normal person would do, and I didn't answer her for an hour because I didn't want to seem desperate.
Yeah.
Like I fucking every single time I tell this story, like it's the same shit. I literally like was sitting there just waiting. I'm getting my hair done at this point because I was probably waiting for like 20 or so minutes. And then finally it's my turn to get my hair done. And I like, it was only me and this other woman in the salon. I didn't feel like I could like call on the phone and be like, guess what? Or like, and like call anybody. But I also, like, during this whole process, I was like, no one's gonna believe me.
Right.
So I waited to text her until I could leave the salon and head to my now boyfriend's internship because he was working probably like 10 minutes away from where I was. So I speed over to his internship and I was like, look at this text I just got from Nita fucking Strauss. And he was like, are you shitting me? And I was like, no, look. And he was like, you understand that my dad's like a huge fan of her, right? I was like, I am going to shit myself. I have known of this woman for fucking so long.
Yeah.
And like, I had heard Dead Inside come out, and a Wolf You Feed had just come out, and I saw it blowing up everywhere. And I was like, dude, this is crazy as fuck. So then I answered, and we had to hop on a phone call together, and I made sure that my now boyfriend was sitting right next to me so I didn't hallucinate the whole thing.
Sure. Yeah. Needed a witness. Yep.
Yes, exactly. And then the rest is history. Then I just fucking hopped on tour with them. My first gig with them, dude. Oh, I was literally so nervous. And of course, first date, not New York, not LA, but fucking Nashville. The first show with them was Nashville. I didn't even realize it was a fucking industry city either. I was like, oh my God.
Oh,
so we walk in, and right before we're on stage, he's like, big show tonight, kid. It's Nashville. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, oh, this is like one of the bigger cities. And I was like, wow. He was like, no pressure. I was like, oh, great. Thank you so much.
That's not a good way to start things.
No, but it was fine. I was just so fucking nervous because, like, you can play around with your own music and fuck it up all you want because you fucking wrote it. You got the rights to that shit. But, like, now I am, like, going not necessarily toe-to-toe, but trying to fill in with David Draymond, Elisa Whiteglues, Anders Frieden, Dorothy, like, all these huge fucking names who are so talented. And I was just like, oh my God. And we also did a Pantera cover at the end of it. So that was even more daunting for me because I'm like,
what song?
Fuck. It was Cowboys from Hell.
Sick.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sick song,
awesome
though.
Track. Yeah, great song.
It's fucking sick. And I remember on my first tour, I would routinely go out to the crowd and just like fucking get a circle pick on. Even though like Nita's crowd, since they're all like Alice fans, they're a lot older. So like a lot of them didn't want to move, but when they did want to move, they got really excited when I came out and did that. So that was fun.
How do you switch gears between bands?
Oh, dude. I don't really know. Like lately I've been walking on the treadmill and rehearsing my set like a Logic project. You know, I'll just kind of like try to get some movement going, have my mic or whatever, and just for whatever tour is coming up, I'll go through the set almost daily and just go that way. Like for Deadlands, I've been probably rehearsing for about 3.5 weeks. I've been rehearsing the set, especially because we've gotten like a bunch of new stuff. But I try and just get my body comfortable with doing the set and being out of breath and being active.
Yep.
As much as I go to the gym and I'll go on walks and stuff, it's not nearly the same as singing and performing on stage at the same time at all. Not even the slightest. It's so much more physically taxing to be singing. And I always feel like a lot of people don't understand that. Even musicians, like, you know, they think, oh, you're just singing, like, you're not really doing much. You're not really like doing any crazy running or anything, but you can't. Like, you have to focus on getting correct pitch. You have to focus on, you know, all that shit. Cause like Deadlands and Nita, neither of those bands, like, we don't use autotune at all on stage at all. So like, I know some bands do. I honestly am thinking of making a TikTok and asking people of just like, hey guys, like, what do you think about autotune live on stage? I really don't want to do it, but like, it also makes it that much harder to be able to move around and move a little bit more freely. And I guess you have a little bit less fun, but like at the end of the day, for me, like it's a lot more rewarding to know like, oh, that was a really good show that I had today than to be like, oh, fuck, like I can't believe I fucked up and the auto-tune sounded like blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
I think a lot more bands use it than you might think about.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the majority of everybody's using it nowadays.
I think the average person probably wouldn't even be able to tell you which bands are and which aren't. But that's the thing. I think that's the misconception about autotune, though, is that like I think the average person also thinks if you're a bad singer, autotune's gonna make you sound good. And it's like, well, autotune only sounds good if you're already
a good singer.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but you know, Nita, all of her songs have all of these iconic singers on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
How daunting was that to be like, I have to go sing the songs that this person sang? Like, what? I can't even imagine.
Scared. I was so fucking scared.
Yeah, already talk about the fact that you're going on this big tour, which I'm sure is probably the biggest shows that you had played at that point, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
And so, biggest shows you played at that point with a very established musician like Nita herself, who has all of these insane icons singing on her songs, and now you have to go do it. Like, how did you process and prepare for that? Was it similar to how you were just talking about preparing for the Deadlands tours? Did you do a similar type of thing?
A little bit. I don't think I had as much knowledge on, you know, I had never toured before, so I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
So like as much as I was working out, going to the gym, I didn't really understand to be, you know, walking on the treadmill while I'm singing. I would pretty much just like run the sets like right here. I have my whole computer set up right to the right of me. Yep. And so I would just like go through the mic and almost do like my live one takes, if you guys have seen those. I would pretty much just be doing live one takes of those, standing up and using my mic as per usual. Nothing really to the caliber of what I do now. So
sure. I feel like for me, I wouldn't be able to get past the mental block of like having to attempt to fill those shoes. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I would be pissing myself just trying to think about
exactly
how do I follow up David Draymond, you know, or like you said, Anders, like what, you know?
Yeah, dude, wild.
But you know what? It's a massive compliment for Nita to feel like you were capable of
absolutely.
that. That's a massive compliment in her belief in your skills. So
what does that feel like? What does that feel like?
Well, that's the reason of why I like kept it going, in the sense of like why I'm like, oh, I don't think I should do this, or I don't think I'm like capable of like, you know, I look so down on myself so much of the time. Like I have such crazy imposter syndrome. It's fucking horrible sometimes.
Me too.
But like I can't think about how I perceive myself, because how many times we already said it today, like you're your own worst critic, and you have to recognize that. So to think that Nita Strauss guitarist of Alice Cooper, who has been around the fucking block. She's had so many bands of herself, the Iron Maidens, you know, as Blood Runs Black, like you name it. She has been around the most talented fucking people. The fact that she thought that I could do it means that I could probably fucking do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was just very flattered, and I can't believe she's like held on to me this long. I thought after the first tour they'd be like, thank you, Kasey, you were great for the first tour, but we need like somebody better. So I'm just really glad that it's still a thing.
How did your band respond? Was there any sort of jealousy, or were they super excited for you?
No, they were super excited for me.
That's
they were
awesome.
Because
great.
they knew like anything that this would come out to would help us, and it has tremendously. Like so many Nita fans have flown over and become Deadlands fans like instantly. Like I can name you 15 people right now that are like super diehard Nita fans that are now super diehard Deadlands fans. I'm so fucking grateful for them. Like they're amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And even so, like just people coming up to us after the set, like when we were opening up for Mammoth or when we were opening up for Apocalyptica, like all those fans would come up to us after the set and be like, hey, like what band were you in? What was your band's name? And like automatically, even so, that's fucking 5 to 10 people, which maybe like, let's say we didn't post on social media that day or something. That's already 5 to 10 people that we wouldn't have had. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's Chris wants to know which one is your favorite.
Oh, my favorite song?
Which
your
band?
Favorite band.
Which
First
band?
off, I didn't ask, and he's trying to make me look like the bad guy. That's what's happening here.
No, he's scared to ask.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is my baby right here.
That's fair.
Totally.
I write that music, you know, as much as I love doing the Nita stuff, it's a lot of fun. Like my creative juices flow in Deadlands. Like I don't really have any sort of like creative input when the Nita records are being made.
Right.
So I'm like that Deadlands is my shit. That is my baby right there.
Has there been any talk of having you do vocals on new Nita music at all?
Maybe not.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, very good.
It's a grapevine. It's been whispered about a little bit, but we don't have anything set in stone, although we would like to.
Sure.
Very good.
So
that's cool.
We're working on it.
That's awesome.
Super cool.
So first off, picking Deadlands, definitely the right answer, and I feel like Nita would also be upset with you if you didn't give that answer.
Oh yeah. Well, she knows. Like we've had the conversation so many times, even after like this last run that we were on. Like, she was like, girl, I just hope you don't get too busy for me. Like, I'm going to be really fucking sad when we have to let you go, if we have to let you go. And I'm like, dude, I know it's going to fucking suck. But like the fact that the communication is there is like the only thing that I could ever ask for.
Right.
You know?
Well, Chris, should we get Nita on here and put her on the spot?
Yes.
Okay.
Consider it done.
All right, deal.
So first I was going to say that it's awesome that your bandmates have the big picture outlook of saying this is good, because I could absolutely see them being like, or I could understand them feeling like she's going and doing another thing. She's going to leave us behind. She is outgrowing us, whatever. I could understand having that feeling, but I agree. Anything that someone in your band is doing to grow their, I guess, quote unquote, personal profile is only going to lift your entire group project up as well.
Exactly.
So it's awesome that they have that outlook, because I do think that it is absolutely only helping you guys. And second is, I was going to ask if there have you run into any issues of trying to balance Nita and Deadlands yet, or is that not quite?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Absolutely. It definitely does get tricky, especially like when we were planning around releases and stuff.
Sure.
I remember, I think it was like my second Nita tour. We were supposed to play Christmas Burns Red. Like we got the offer and everything. And I was this close to saying yes until we realized that the last fucking Nita show was the day of Christmas Burns Red. So I was like, fuck. So we were sad to not be able to attend that year, but then we got to attend the next year. So it was fine. And also, like, we released Kundalini while I was on tour, and that was just, it was a fucking shit show on my end, because I'm in demand on tour, and then I'm in demand on online, and then I'm in demand just as a band member in general. Like it definitely gets fucking really hard. But like,
yeah, it's a lot of stuff to balance, and a lot of people
definitely is
pulling you in different directions. Especially it's a lot of that when you're in one band and you're working with a label to release stuff, and you've got social posts that need to go up and interviews to do. It's another thing when you don't, I feel like you don't double it when you're balancing two projects, you like quadruple it almost.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't even imagine. Texas in July went away for a while. We got back together, played a couple shows, and we put out an EP 2 years ago now in like November of 2023. And, even doing that band very, very, very part-time while doing the Ghost Inside, the process of like planning release dates, music videos, social content, picking singles, like trying to do both bands. Yes. And like we were doing some of it while I was on tour in Europe with the Ghost Inside, and like trying to like sync up my daily schedule over there with like when stuff is dropping over here. And it's just like, it's a nightmare. And I can totally understand the chaos of trying to like balance the two. It's not easy. It's really not
at all. And like I get so overwhelmed, especially with fucking ADHD. Like it makes everything 10 times worse, because I'll see like, oh, here's the things that I have to do, and it's just a mountain of fucking shit. And then I'm like, oh my God, I have to start all the way at the top. Meanwhile, you can start picking from the bottom. I'm just like, oh no. So I get all that shit, and I'm so like scatterbrained most of the time. I'm a mess. I'm just a fucking mess. But we make it work, I want to do as much shit as possible, and I fucking hate turning down opportunities, because I'm like, what if that opportunity could open up the next big thing for us? Like you never know. And I was always taught, like, never say no to a good opportunity. And I still try and do that as much as possible.
Hard. It's definitely hard. Was there something that totally caught you off guard your first time being out on tour? Anything in particular that sticks out that you were like, whoa, I didn't expect that to happen?
I don't really know. I don't think so. Because those tours, like, those are so much smoother than van tours, just as like a general rule. You get the cushy bus, and you get your bunk, and like if you don't want to talk to anybody, then you can literally just go in your bunk and be left alone, and like no one will bother you. But when you're in a van tour, like if you're like, fuck, everybody's pissing me off right now, you still have a 3-hour car ride with them, and you still have to go to the venue, and then you don't really get any alone time. Yeah. And like,
how do you balance back and forth? Because that's a tough thing. Like the bus is so nice and the van is so not nice.
I mean, like it's honestly like, I'm just very lucky to have been in the position where I could like experience the bus even once, because so many people don't even get to that point.
Sure.
Like there's still bands that have been touring for decades and they're still in a fucking bandwagon. Like, well, I'm just
some
grateful.
bands don't even make it to the bandwagon.
Exactly. Yeah. So like to know that I'm like, oh, I know how it is. Like when it's cushy, I almost got like very gently landed into tour life. I feel like as much as the length was like, boom, you have fucking 4 weeks or whatever, I still got to be able to be like, oh, so like this is how this works. This is how that works. And it was definitely a very gentle introduction.
You know what? As gentle as it is, I do think that you got to learn tour etiquette from pros, though.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when I started touring full time and doing like real tours, not like, because I booked DIY stuff for my old local band back in the day, and like that is touring, but it's like it's not touring as a job. When I started touring as a job on these professionally booked tours where we were getting a guarantee every night, and it was like how I was trying to pay my bills, it was a completely different culture of touring. And like, I gotta talk to the head tour manager to find out what's going on, and like there's a stage manager here that's telling us when we can and can't load in, and where our stuff can live and where it can't, and like, oh, we get buyouts today, oh no, it's catering. Like all this stuff that like you will never know or understand the process of until you get on a tour like that. And it's really weird when you're like the opener on the tour, on your very first one, and you're like, I know nothing, and I feel like a freshman in high school, and like all the other bands are the seniors, and I, like they're too cool for me to talk to, and I don't know where to go here, and I feel out of place. At least you got to like, you landed in with Nita and her crew, who are, you know, they're road dogs, you know, and they're so experienced. You got to learn, you know, from day one. You had like almost like a safe space that you could go to be like, okay, how does this work? You know, like tell me everything. I'm new here. How does it work? And you knew that like everybody there was going to have best intentions for you. So I think that's cool. And but you know, what's also cool about that is you can take that back to everybody else in your band now and share it with them. Yeah. That's fucking awesome. That's so cool.
And that's like the most important thing of like when I was, not that I was contemplating saying yes to Nita, but when I was like talking to my bandmates about it, I was like, look, like any knowledge that I get will be used for us and automatically make us so much better. And I contribute like so much of my knowledge to Nita and her husband, Josh. Like specifically, Josh is her manager. So he is super involved in literally everything. His attention to detail is like no other that I've ever seen. And like he'll be playing on stage and he'll look at the merch, and if the merch lights aren't on, he's like, motherfucker, like the merch lights aren't on while he's just drumming away. Like he's so funny. But I asked him so many questions. I grilled him on so much shit, and he was so willing to just give me all the advice. And like we were hanging out at a bar one night, and he was like, listen, kid, like, you're like my little sister. Like, I just want you to succeed and be even like 10 times more successful than, you know, me and Nita will be. Like, I just, you know, you're like my little fucking sister and I love you. I'm like, dude, love you too, bro. You're the fucking sickest. Like, thank you for everything you've done for me. Like, you're awesome. And it was just a cool moment. Like,
yeah, I think it's great that you were not scared to ask, though, because I say it all the time, you don't know what you don't know. So like,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to not know. I think what's not okay is not asking the questions.
Yes.
And assume you know.
Exactly.
Right. So I think it's great that you're willing to be like, hey, I don't know something. Please help me. And
definitely.
I think it's great that her camp was so willing to bring you in and kind of catch you up to speed.
Yeah, tuck you under the wing, essentially.
Exactly. And, you know, that's one of the biggest things that, like, and also Josh loves to yap. Like, he is a certifiable yapper if I ever seen one. Like, he will tell you anything. He will, by the end of meeting him, you will know his entire life story, when he went to high school, who were his best friends. Like, he'll tell you everything. And that was, like, the best group I could have asked to tour with, because they were just open books. Like, I could ask anything, and they told me I could ask anything. They were like, listen, like, you got questions, let me know. If you need help, let me know. And I would, like, as much as actually I will mention too, like, and even another amazing thing that came out of it is Johnny, the Nita's guitarist, he will be touring with us on our Sequin run, playing rhythm guitar and vocals. So I'm like, that's great. Like, the fact that we can grow relationships together like that and also do fucking great business, like, it's just match made in heaven for me. So and I'm like, I feel forever indebted to them. I love them. They're great.
Being that Nita is who she is, and again, she plays for Alice Cooper, and, you know, she's got a pretty high profile and probably an insane amount of, like, you know, pretty famous friends.
Yes.
Have you had any moments where you've found yourself in rooms with, like, artists that you're like, I can't believe I'm in your presence right now? Has that happened to you at all?
Yes. Oh, yes. I mean, fucking David Draymond, immediately. Like, I've met him multiple times, and he's the nicest fucking guy ever.
That's
like,
awesome.
He is such a sweetheart. And I not only did I meet him at the wedding, but I met him at Sonic Temple. He came on stage with us. And I think I met him one other time, but, like, he's fucking great. I think his name is John, the bassist of Disturbed. He's fucking awesome. Yeah, he's fantastic. I met him a couple times. Demi Lovato I met, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm literally standing in front of you speaking to you right now.
What would a teenage you have thought about meeting Demi Lovato?
Definitely. Because,
so
like,
nuts.
In my mind, like, I never really had this celebrity mindset of exactly
Right.
like. I mean, of course, when I was like maybe 11 or 12 or whatever, I'd be like, oh my God. But like, I always knew I was like never going to meet them and it was never going to happen.
Sure, yeah.
And then I fucking met Demi Lovato and I was like, holy fuck. And Nita talks the best about her, dude. She's like, dude, Demi is so funny. She's so down to earth. She's so sweet. So I'm like, fuck, bro. I can't believe I met her. Like that was so
sick.
crazy. Alice Cooper. I met Alice Cooper.
I was wondering if you got to meet Alice. That's awesome.
He watched our
That's super
show
cool.
in Phoenix. Fucking
he lives there.
this past tour. Yeah.
No pressure at all.
Nope. I was like, holy shit.
Totally not rock and metal royalty or anything.
Exactly. Exactly. And dude, there's so many people I can't even like think about it, honestly. I don't even know. So many people at NAMM.
Sure.
Tom Morello. Hello? I fucking met Tom Morello.
That's
and he
fucking
was
cool.
So nice.
Oh, I bet he's
So
like the coolest guy on the
nice.
planet. Yeah,
Yes.
I believe it.
And John Five, Marty Friedman, we
Like
we literally
all the guitar legends of Naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're fucking Johnny Christ. Hello, Avenged Sevenfold. I
Full
fucking
circle
met
moment,
him.
huh?
Yes. And he watched us play and he was like, yo, your screams are sick. And I was like, hey. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
I mean, listen, if Mr. M Shadows needs any help, you let me know.
Yeah, if Matt needs to send out a tour, you know who to call.
Yeah, give a girl a call.
That's so awesome. Yeah, that's like something I wouldn't have considered going into singing for Nita is like that kind of thing of like running into all of these, really like
Legends.
high profile,
Elisa
like
White
legends.
Blues
Yes.
too.
I
Elisa White
never
Blues.
would have thought about it, but the first time it would have happened, it would have been like, oh yeah, she's Nita Strauss. This all makes sense. Yeah.
Yes. When you're living on a bus with them for a couple of months, you're like, no, this is just my friends. Like,
Right.
they're
Yeah.
like,
You forget who they are for a minute.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And like
Yeah.
when I think Elisa was the first like big name that I had met at that point, and like she came and sang with us in Montreal. I was so puppy dogged, like just behind her. I was just like, you're so pretty and cool
She's
and
such a badass,
talented.
too.
She's so fucking sick.
Just to front a metal ass band like Arch Enemy, you got to have some charisma, and she delivers.
Yeah.
She really does.
Yes. And like she was one of the only like women screaming that I knew of growing up. So like
to be fair, I think that Angela Gossow, I think her name was the singer before her, who I think manages Arch Enemy now.
Correct.
Was probably the first female screamer person that I was aware of that I can think. Her or maybe the singer of Walls of Jericho.
What about the girl from Kitty? Didn't she scream
Kitty,
too?
that's true. Yeah.
Yep.
I guess Kitty too. But like,
But those were the three probably big bands growing up
that I
were
could
the
think
ones.
of at least. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, that
And
girl-
like I hear like I wrestled a bear once and like
Sure.
Oh, yeah, her.
Listen,
Yeah,
I
that
love
was later
Courtney
on. That was
Love.
later on.
Yeah, and like I also never really got into Iwabo. Like I don't know why, but I
never did
even
either.
like Arch Enemy, I only really got into a couple of songs because I just wasn't really like a power metal type of person. But like I still admired the fuck out of what she
Right.
did.
Bro, that chick from Walls of Jericho is fucking terrifying.
Really? I didn't even know that the front
Oh, yeah.
that there was a front woman.
Oh yeah.
If I saw that lady in an alley by myself, I'm fucking running.
Wait, let me see.
She would beat my ass.
Probably,
Let
but
me
who
see.
wouldn't? You know.
Fair assessment, but I'm just saying this one in particular would beat. She looks like she would
Oh,
beat.
shit.
That's a bad girl.
I mean-
They're
right
from
there. She would-
Detroit. There you go.
Yeah, that too.
She fronts a hard ass hardcore band, of course.
She would beat all of our
Oh
asses.
my god. Yeah, she's jacked too. Holy shit.
She's fucking. That lady is scary.
I was never really huge into Arch Enemy either, but Josh
neither.
and I grew up in like the Ozfest era, and we went to Ozfest a lot. And I feel like I saw Arch Enemy at least twice on
probably,
Ozfest,
yeah.
and just remembering like it's not really my thing, but also still being like completely blown away by their live show.
Yeah.
And part of that, I mean, Angela was a great front woman, and at the time, which is so dumb, but at the time, it was still shocking in a way to see a woman fronting a metal band.
Dude, it still is.
Yeah, it was.
It's still, but it shouldn't be. And
I know.
I was
gonna
gonna go here later, but I'm gonna go here now because it's kind of naturally taking it this direction. But do you ever feel like being a female in the space have you experienced any setbacks from that? Do you ever feel like it's harder?
In some ways, I think since I have gone back to like a natural hair color, I think that takes away a lot of my cred, I guess you would say. Because like I'll do a video with one of my friends. Her name is Louisa. And like, we just like to mess around and do like stupid transitions or challenges. We're just having fun, essentially. Like, and people will get so fucking mad at us because we'll go from like a regular plain t-shirt to like little like alternative-y, fashion-y clothes. It's like content for the girls, right?
Sure.
And dudes will just rip us the fuck apart, calling us
For
like
what, though?
posers because we're pretty and
dudes on the internet are the worst.
No, it's so toxic, and
Interesting.
because they
And you know
think,
what?
like,
It's even beyond dudes on the internet. It's metal dudes on the internet are the fucking worst. They're the worst.
God. The
Fuck all you
elitists.
guys.
I just stay away from it.
Yeah, exactly.
you should.
And like, yeah, we try to. I mean, she gets so shit on for no fucking reason, and I'm like, I just don't understand it. But yeah, I mean, in the sense of touring, I think maybe, I don't know if it's just circumstantial shit, because I mean, granted, like, we had just a lot of like growing pains when it came to like creating this new record and getting everything out, getting used to being on a label now. Like, we had a lot of changes happen in a lot of short times. And, you know, at this point in my Deadlands career, I guess I would hope that we would have been touring a little bit more, but like our first support tour is going to be in July. So, but now it's starting. And I know once we get that first one, it's all going to be uphill from there.
Yeah, everything changes at that point.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
it's always the first one.
The release you guys have coming up, is that your first on Spine Farm?
no, actually, our first was Villain.
Okay. But so you've only put out singles so far though, right?
Yes, we had one EP that was like our debut, and then everything else has been singles.
Okay. So sometimes I feel like, you know, a lot of the push doesn't start coming until you have like a bigger release coming up. And then all of a sudden, like, the wheels start to turn and you start to get the tour offers. And then you're absolutely right. Once you get that first real support tour, it's all going to start moving much faster.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess, you know, you said it's still shocking to an extent to see a woman fronting a man, but I do think it is starting to become, thankfully, more normalized in extent.
Yes.
You know, we've got Arch Enemy, who's been around forever. We've got Ginger. We've got
Lacuna Coil.
We've got Spirit
Pretty
Box.
Wild.
We've got
New Year's Day.
Right.
There's
We've
a
got
lot
you
of them.
guys. Like there's a
Dying
lot
Wish.
now, and I do think Dying Wish. Yes, exactly. And a lot of them are fucking killing it.
Yeah.
And you guys are quick on the rise too. Like, I feel like, thankfully, it is starting to become more normalized.
Yes.
It's a weird dynamic that I haven't had to think about myself, right? Because I'm a dude, you know?
Yeah.
And in a industry, and especially like a specific corner of the industry that is like dominated by males. But so I toured with Mike and Courtney from Spirit Box when they were still in I Wrestled a Bear Once, Texas in July. I did a tour with them, and
I'm jealous.
dude, they are the two sweetest people on the planet, and nothing makes me happier than watching good people win. And so watching Spirit Box become the mammoth that they are now has been like the most secondhand fulfillment ever.
Yeah.
You know, like, just watching people that I know are just incredibly awesome humans get their flowers is fucking cool.
It's the fucking best, man.
Yeah, but touring with them, and like, we shared a bus with them in Europe and stuff, and so I got to get to know them pretty well. And you know, I always knew that Mike and Courtney, like, the two of them together are like, you know, they're married, but they're obviously like a dynamic duo. So I'm not shocked by that. But I really started to think about how cool it is to see them have the success they are when my daughter was born. You know, and it's like, I don't know that she'll care to play music. You know, like, out of my two kids, she's definitely the one that seems to have the most natural music talent and maybe the most interest in music, but I don't know if she'll want to pursue it like I have, and I don't plan to push that type of stuff on my kids. If they want to pursue music, I'll do whatever I can to help foster that interest and teach them what I can and pass down any wisdom that I might have, but I'm not going to force it on them.
Yeah.
But the last thing I would ever want is for her to not be able to do something she wants to do just because she's a girl. I fucking hate that. And I was also like mainly raised by my mom until I was 13, and like my grandmother, and like raised by mostly by women. And like I'm married to a strong woman who like I love her to death. My daughter and both my kids are my role, but like I said, once my daughter was born, I started to think about things like that of like, why the fuck would we not just say, yeah, just do, like, why is it got to be a thing? Just let people do what they do. Like I do still feel like I said, metal dudes on the internet are the fucking worst. And
They're
like,
so toxic.
why can't you post shit on the internet without getting shit just because you're a fucking girl? That's
Dude,
so dumb.
I don't get it.
It makes me so angry.
It makes me so fucking angry too. I'm so glad that you get angry. It pisses me the fuck off royally when people do that shit. Just
It
because
should.
like,
I don't blame you.
It's so like disrespectfully, like there's no other way to put it, sexist.
It
like,
is fully sexist.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
And even some girls will comment like poser and shit. And I'm like, so you're just feeding into the misogyny then.
But
like,
I feel
what?
like the girls commenting that shit are the girls who are too self-conscious to do it themselves, and they're jealous as fuck.
Yep. And I'm like, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. And all your comments like are just showing how you feel, not how I feel.
Yeah,
because how
100%.
I feel is I'm having fun with my friend. How you feel, that sucks for you.
And what you should never do is let their influence stop you from having fun with your friend.
Bring it back to that Attila mindset, bro. Give him no fucks.
There you go.
There it is. Well, we've been chatting for a while now, so I want to start slowly starting to wrap it up here. But we also got to a point where I wanted to cover anyway is you've been very good about utilizing social media. How do you think about is social media, like TikTok, is all that just like a tool to leverage exposure for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
100% yes. Like, it's so crazy to me when bands are like, oh, you're just a TikTok band, or like, oh, we could never do that because we're a real band. And it's like, so you're telling me that like you have this giant tool, this whole database of fans that you are just refusing to use. Like, you are literally like putting a whole fucking ceiling on yourself if you are not trying to get with the social media game. Like, for real. And it's honestly, like, it's really sad to see because there's so many bands that are so fucking good and they're so talented. But like, if you don't know how to use social media and you don't know what you're doing in any other sense of music, like, you're fucked. Like, you are totally fucked. I am so fucking thankful that TikTok and Instagram and all that shit came out when it did, because like I don't know where we'd be if it wasn't, you know? I mean, we literally knocked off fucking probably 10 years of career of just trenches, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like you'll see now, like, there's 90% of bands now, when they blow up real huge on social media. Like Sleep Theory is one of them. You know?
Yeah, great band.
I mean,
great fucking band.
I think about, you talked about people saying, oh, you're not a real band, you're just a TikTok band. Well, I would love to see them say that to fucking Sleep Token, who just sold out a 28-date arena tour in America in like 15 minutes, and not that they didn't start on TikTok, right? And they're a great band that was probably going to grow to be a very large band anyway, but TikTok made them
their shit
explode. Yes. So are you going to call them just a TikTok band?
Exactly.
Let me ask a question. Because I'm old and don't understand social media. What advice would you give to us older generation and us older guys or girls or whatever? What advice would you give us to help understand social media? Because it's challenging.
It is so fucking challenging. And even then, like, with everything changing, it is still hard to keep up with. But like, if you want to know how to unlock your fucking audience, you gotta pay attention to the algorithm. Like, that is the only thing that you should really be paying attention to, because trends come and go. Like, even just this past algorithm change, like, they literally just changed it like 2 days ago or something. And still getting a handle on the new algorithm, like, it takes 2 weeks, then they change it 2 weeks later. It's so fucked. Right. But like, as soon as you know, like, okay, this is what the algorithm looks for, because it's all AI based. Like, this is what it looks for. This is search engine optimization shit. Like, any if you read any social media book, they'll talk about search engine optimization, which is
SEO,
pretty
baby.
much exactly. It's pretty much just what you type in the search bar, right? You got to use hooks. You got to reel people in within the first like 3 seconds. So you got to be like, quick, I need your help. And then, do some stupid shit like that. Make sure you're having like call to actions.
I love that somebody who utilizes utilizes social media as a tool also can look at that stuff and be like dumb shit like
it's dumb
like that.
It's most of it is just clickbaity attention grabbing shit to get people to watch your video.
Yes.
I feel like luckily with us, like the attention grabbing is like chick scream, hello, woo, like that's great, but it also doesn't work 100% of the time. Like sometimes you'll have to be like, oh my God, our manager just fired us. Why? And then you gotta like have a fucking stupid video afterwards, just singing your shit. It's weird, man. Like, but if you pay attention to the algorithm and you understand, okay, so the algorithm is basically scanning my screen and saying, okay, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is high quality, this is good, this is hooky, really. It'll see the percentages based on like how long people are watching your video. It's like a whole fucking science, bro.
Who the fuck came up with this is what I'm trying to figure out.
Dude, I don't know.
There's
I
some
don't know.
smart,
Bite
weird
dance.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, bro.
We've danced around some of the upcoming stuff for Deadlands, but do you want to kind of give us the rundown of all the things you guys have coming up here shortly?
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I mean, as you know, we have launch coming up next weekend or the weekend
Next
after.
weekend.
Yep, next weekend.
Oh my
Next
God,
weekend.
that's insane.
Yep.
So that will be, we're going to be playing on the 19th. I think that's Saturday.
Yep, Saturday.
And then the 20th, we have Washington, D.C. I believe we're playing the Space Ballroom.
Cool.
Or that is the Pearl Street Warehouse. I don't remember. Then
I don't know venues in DC other than the 930 Club.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. And then we're going to be playing Hamden, Connecticut on Easter.
Nice.
That might be the Pearl Street Warehouse. Or the other one I just said. I don't even remember. Space Ballroom? I don't fucking know. Too many to remember. And then in July, we have a Scene Queen tour with Girly. We're going to be opening for that. So if anybody wants to get there early, fucking feel free.
As they should. Everybody should get there early and support.
Thank you.
Yep.
And then we also have some, our probably, I guess, closest news besides the April dates would be just our single coming out soon. We haven't said the title yet, but
okay.
We have it cooking.
Ask if what you can tell us. So it sounds like not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot, but it's cooking. And the EP is also cooking. It's already done. Everything is literally already done. We just want it to be rolled out, wrapped up in a neat little bow, and push it out for everybody. So
smart way to do it.
We're busy. We're making it work.
You guys also released. I can't pronounce. How do you the most recent single? How do you pronounce it?
Kundalini.
There it is.
What does that mean?
It's pretty much divine feminine serpent energy. And
amazing.
In that, so I don't know if you guys are aware, but our EP is 7 Deadly Sins themed.
Okay.
So we really wanted to like hammer down on the 7 Deadly Sins, especially in this song. So this was our envy song, hence the snake energy.
Yep.
But essentially it's also like, you know, since that was a collab song with Pretty Wild, they're very spiritual.
Yep.
And they wanted to be able to get some more stuff into their like spiritual world. And we were all about that. So they fucking called it Kundalini, and it pretty much encompasses the feeling of jealousy, essentially.
Nice.
So
got it.
It's fucking cool. If you are spiritual in any way, I would definitely look it up.
And if I remember correctly, you guys have actually been getting some spins on Octane with that one too, haven't you?
Yes, we have.
That's
it's
fucking cool.
awesome.
Congrats.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Awesome.
That's our second single on Octane, our third single on Sirius XM period. So I'm like, that's fucking incredible. The fact that we have 2 of 3 singles on Octane with this record, and it's a heavy record. Like it's not, they're not light songs by any stretch of the word. So I feel very, very blessed and grateful for that.
That's
congrats
super cool.
on that. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
I have one more question before we go to our day sheet round. I'm curious what advice you would give to any other young up and coming vocalists who are, trying to follow in a similar path with juggling projects, staying grounded, and really kind of trying to find their voice in this?
Man, I would just say practice, keep pushing, like keep your head up. It's a long road, but it'll pay off eventually for sure.
No plan B.
No plan B. Fuck
No
a plan
plan
B.
B.
Because if you
Amen.
have plan B, plan A is destined not to work.
Hey,
Absolutely. Dropping
Quote
the
from
heat.
CJ Airy, Deadlands guitarist.
there you
Hey,
go.
what a wise man. What a
He
wise
is.
That
man.
on
Very
put that on
wise
a
man.
t-shirt.
Exactly.
Okay, we're gonna go to our day sheet round. That's just a lightning round. I'm gonna throw some lightning round questions at you, and whatever comes to your head first, that's your answer.
Let's do it.
All right. First concert that you ever went to, which you told us earlier, but you want to give us a refresher?
First actual concert or first metal concert?
Okay, well I guess you
First
actual.
I think first actual.
Yeah,
Jonas
I,
Brothers.
yeah, I think. What was it?
Jonas Brothers.
Oh, that's
and
sick.
Demi Lovato.
Dang.
That's sick. I back it. What's one song that when it comes on, you'll never skip it?
Oh my God. Black Ops by The Pretty Wild.
What is your dream tour? It would be Deadlands and 2-3 other bands. What if you could pick the lineup? Dream tour. What would it be?
Oh my God. Spirit Box, Make Them Suffer, The Pretty Wild,
And Deadlands.
Awesome.
and Deadlands.
Sick.
Pretty solid.
That's it.
Here
I mean,
for it.
all baddies in that lineup, you know?
Let's go. I'm here for it. What is your go-to gas station snack on tour?
Oh my God. I've been obsessed with beef jerky, but
That's a good one.
Yeah. But like
Good
if I
protein.
really want sour, like I'm a sour bitch. Like I fucking love any rips. I love Airhead Extremes. I love the Sour Punch, the Warheads. Just give me anything sour and I'm there.
I need to know it's not really sour, but it is become my favorite candy in the past year or two. But those the Nerds clusters.
You like them? Dude, I
fuck-
don't know about them. I think the gummy is okay, but I think when you mix the gummy with the hard candy,
The episode's over.
yeah.
The episode's over.
I'm sorry.
He's out. Chris is
I
out.
can't
He's
ask
out.
any more questions.
I like the Nerds though. I like them separate. Together is just not my thing.
I'm so disappointed, but we'll
I'm
move
so
on, I
sorry.
suppose.
I hate nerds.
Well, you're an idiot. And
That's fine.
and I hate you.
Thank you.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
What? Only the second one.
Yes.
Really?
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, coffee's too strong for me.
This is my second cup today. I'll probably get a third one once we're done here.
Yo,
I'm definitely having one when I hang up here. I'm drinking water right now, but I'm going for coffee.
What is your favorite city that you've played in so far?
Boise.
Interesting.
Wow.
I love
That's-
Boise.
Look,
Wow.
it is a cool town, I suppose. I mean, it is, but it's definitely not a common one to hear from somebody. So that's
No.
cool.
It's
What
just-
venue
it's
did you
so
play?
quaint.
Is it the knitting factory there or whatever? Is that the name
I
of the
think
venue?
we did play the Knitting Factory. I've also played Neurolux.
I don't even know that
Neurolux.
venue.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a room.
it's a smaller venue, but
Is,
I love Boise and I love Vegas.
Do you like the city of Boise, or are the shows always awesome?
I just love the city.
The city is very cool.
Yeah, the
The
shows
shows-
though in that area of the country, they don't really have a lot of people going to them, so they do like to party pretty hard. So yeah,
I feel like that's one of the lightest ticket sales on every tour
oh,
I have going out.
absolutely.
Yeah, but I will agree that the people who come to those shows are like,
Are rowdy as hell.
yes,
Yes.
because they don't get many shows. So when the shows
Sure.
come, they let loose. So I do
Exactly.
agree with that.
Exactly.
I'm excited for this question.
It could go so wrong. So hopefully it's not too bad. Weirdest DM you've gotten so far? I knew it. I knew it was going to be a rough one. You don't have to share if you don't want to, because I know there's some fucking creepy people out there for sure.
There are some creepy people.
Weirdest, okay. Weirdest appropriate DM.
They're probably all creepy.
Yeah,
We can skip this one.
They're interesting. No, I don't have to skip it. I could say it if you
Okay.
guys want me to.
It's up
'Cause
to
I
you.
will.
Yeah.
Well,
I say say
I'll
it.
say this. There was this
What's
one.
the Attila mentality?
Give no fucks. Exactly.
Yes, I say it.
There was this one gentleman that would DM me almost every day, and I had never
Christ.
opened his DMs once. And I don't know if he was really convinced that we were conversating or that we were, in a relationship of sorts, but he, I guess, thought or wanted to have me and like 7 other girls in this relationship with him. And
Oh.
he would send me moving discounts and like some very emotional messages as well. And it was just very, you don't know what to do. I just kind of left that in the requests folder just because I was like, this is a little
no
what I was expecting.
No, but it's like creepy in a different regard. Like I was expecting creepy in the sense of like dick pics, send me pictures of your feet.
Oh yeah, like, all those all the time.
But I was like, this is like stalker level creepy shit.
Yeah, like, and I remember he had said that he was going to one of the shows, and I was very nervous about it. But I don't think he went. So I'm like, I just don't know. Maybe he's just texting this fantasy for his own entertainment. I don't fucking know. But
people are fucking sick, man.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't harm me in any sort of way, so I can't really complain, I guess.
This is kind of derailing a little bit, but like, I know there's some weird people out there. Do you ever actually fear, like when you're at a venue or you're in a city going places by yourself, do you ever feel nervous about any of that kind of stuff?
Not really. I don't really think people are going to come up to me because of who I am. I think they're going to come up to me because I'm a woman, like, and I'm like 5'2", and people think that I won't just rip their head off. But right,
right, they don't know what they're getting themselves into. Right.
No, but not by any means. I'm like, honestly, I wish a motherfucker would try it. Like, I'm like, you can see how that would fucking wind up for you, bro. Right. I'll tell you, one of us is calling an ambulance, and it's not going to be me.
She grew up in Long Island, New York.
Yeah,
she
ain't
not fucking
playing
no games. No,
we don't play no games here, bro. But no, I mean, I think they would probably come up to me more so that I'm a girl than I'm. Because I also, like, most of the time, I'm, like, made up to the nines, and it almost is like a Hannah Montana, like, once I take the fucking mask off, like, not a lot of people realize that, But I also hang out pretty close to the venues, and I don't ever go anywhere alone just because I'm, like, scared of that, unless it's, like, fucking next door,
Right. One word to describe 2025 for Kasey so far.
Busy.
Busy's good, though, right?
Yeah, busy is always good. So they say.
First CD you ever bought with your own money?
Oh my God. I don't think I've ever bought a CD.
Oh my God. I just realized that you might be too young for that. Fuck.
I guess our own CDs.
My God.
No. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
We'll say Kesha or Selena Gomez, maybe?
I'm just going to pretend.
I did have those two CDs. I'm so sorry. On iTunes.
I'll count that.
That won't count that.
Shh, Josh, take it.
I'll take it, but
I don't even know my first
just
fucking
skip the
Paramore?
fucking question.
Paramore? Okay. Paramore it is.
That's
We're
cool.
taking it.
That's
taking
cool.
it.
Paramore.
Acceptable.
Paramore. Sold.
What was your cringiest teenage phase?
Oh Christ. I think it had to be my 5 seconds of summer phase, because that essentially was like the new age scene kid emo phase.
Totally was.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because you had the MySpace generation, which I had missed, but then like the new age of MySpace was Tumblr.
Yep.
And I
remember Tumblr.
Yeah. Tumblr was just
it was huge.
A time. And I actually didn't even know how to fucking use Tumblr, but I still like loved looking at the Tumblr posts on Instagram and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I would still wear like the flannel with the combat boots and the backwards hat. Like I was a fucking loser. But I mean,
that's like,
it is what it is.
It happens.
Yeah.
We all go through those phases. It's not just you.
Yep. And then you had the whole half face selfie where you're like,
God.
like awful.
Hey, MySpace era, we all did the top down. Tumblr. The Tumblr era was better. Trust me.
Don't worry.
I'm thankful mine is dead and gone.
I'm gonna dig it up somewhere. It still exists.
You cannot.
Hey, you ever heard of the website, the Wayback Machine? Everything's still on there, but it's not gone.
Is that a thing?
Is that
a thing?
It
really?
Is.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
I'm gonna use that website to teach my kids about MySpace.
There you go.
That's really a website?
Yes, the Wayback Machine. It's just an archive of the internet.
Who the fuck came up with that? I got to talk to that guy. Me and him
exactly.
Me and them got a real fucking conversation headed in a wrong direction.
here's the last day sheet question, and then Josh has one more question for you. But zombie apocalypse, which one of your band members will keep you alive?
CJ.
I had a feeling it was going to be your answer. He seems very wise.
Yes, he's very wise. I mean, he's got just knowledge on knowledge.
Or
I think I would probably
that's
be
where I was going with it.
keeping CJ and me alive. He
That's
would
where I was
probably
going with
be
it.
the planner of like, okay, so like I know that over here we need the food from this place, and I would just be murking zombies because I have violent tendencies anyway.
Respect. That's exactly where I was about to take that, because I had a feeling that that's probably a more likely scenario. Fair enough.
Yes. He would probably use his guitar as like an axe, though. So
Sure.
It is called the axe, isn't it?
Sure is.
It is. All right, last question, and then we're going to let you go because we've had you for a really long time. If you had a 5-minute conversation with 15-year-old Kasey right now, you got to call her and talk to her for 5 minutes, what's the message?
Dude, Corey Taylor gave you props. You went on stage with Motionless in White. You're gonna be fine. And you're about to live out your fucking dreams, dog. So, like, stop being a bitch and just do your shit.
Props from Corey Taylor. That's sick.
That's pretty awesome.
I couldn't believe that shit. Okay, listen to the sentence, bro. So, right after Deadlands had just opened up for Motionless in White, I went backstage after our set, after Alpha Wolf had just played. I said hi to Loki, and then, you know, I said hi to Chris side stage because he asked me to perform Slaughterhouse for the second time. And Corey Taylor was watching his wife from the Cherry Bombs on stage. Miss Alicia? Is it Alicia or Alicia?
I think it's Alicia.
I feel like it's Alicia. I don't know. Whatever. Alicia.
Tomato.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So after I had just gotten off stage with Motionless in White, first of all, Chris was like, "Oh my God, that was even better than the first time." Then Corey was like, "Great job, dude." And then he saw us at Rockville with Nita.
That's
and I was
so
like,
sick.
That's fucking wild.
That's
I can't believe
fucking
that. Can't believe that shit.
That's
Love him.
Corey Taylor, I said when we started this idea for this podcast that but Corey Taylor's like my dream guy to get on here.
Same.
I love him.
Same.
He's
Did you
the
see his
fucking
cover of
best.
Pink Pony Club?
Yes, I did. He's my hero. I love him.
He's
I
great.
did not.
He's great.
If we get Corey Taylor, the podcast is done after that.
Got
There's
it.
nothing.
Yeah,
There's nothing left to get after that. I don't think.
Got it. Yeah.
Because
Nope.
past that for me is like James Hetfield from Metallica, and that's just not realistic. So if we get Corey Taylor, then that's it.
Remember when we were talking about who we met?
Don't tell me.
I didn't meet him, but
Okay.
he was at the show in Colorado this past shit.
I have to go.
That's Papa Het.
Dude,
Yeah, it's Papa Het.
I was shitting myself. I wish you guys would have seen Josh sprinting around like a kid, bro. He was like, James Hetfield is here. Like, he was going wild. It was so funny to watch. I was just baffled. I couldn't believe it. I was
That's crazy.
shaking going on stage, but I don't know. I didn't get to meet him. I hope he liked it.
I'm sure he did. I'm so jealous. I would love to be within a 10-mile radius of that man. The fact that he's in the
You
venue is
have
crazy.
been in a 10-mile
I don't know.
radius
Maybe
before.
not.
You're a freak of
I don't
nature.
know. Maybe not. You never know. Anyway, Kasey, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to chat with us. This was
Thanks
a lot
It's
of
been
fun.
awesome.
Dude, thank you for having me, bro. I want to come on here anytime. You guys are great.
Awesome. Well, we'll
Appreciate
keep that
that
in mind next time you guys are releasing something. We'll maybe have you back on when the EP comes out or something. But
That'd be fucking
either way,
awesome.
I'm looking forward to meeting in person at launch next
Dude,
weekend.
me too. It's gonna be fucking great.
Hell
Y'all
yeah.
travel safe, all right?
Will do. Hey everyone, Chris here, and I just wanted to take a second to say thanks for watching today's episode. You can check out more episodes of Late for Load-In on the right side of your screen and find any applicable links to this episode in the description down below. There you'll also find a link to our Patreon, which is the most direct way to support the show, and it's only $1 a month. Please consider giving this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to follow us on all social platforms, at Late for Load-In, at Chris_TGI, at Josh Carell. See you guys next week.